Hello, everybody. How many of you think that today is a Sunday? Please raise your hands. That's quite a lot of you. Now, am I slightly crazy to be asking you the most obvious question? Maybe. But what I do want to know is, why do you think today is a Sunday? Please think about it. I'll get back to it. So, yesterday, I couldn't help but wonder, what if I went ahead and dyed my hair a vibrant red or got a huge tattoo on my arm? What would happen then? My no chemicals on your body mother would surely faint. But what apart from that? Or what if my guy best friend, who excels in the skill of makeup, finally musters up enough courage to showcase his talent to the public? How would the crowd perceive him then? Would they look at him like they looked at him before? Or would their perspective towards him deteriorate in a drastic fashion? The reason behind my chain of thoughts being punctuated by these concerns is the term hive mentality. Now, what is hive mentality? It is when a group of people become aware of their commonalities. They think and act as a community. They share their thoughts, ideas, and resources. Every day, we are subconsciously influenced by our culture, language, and environment, which later on contribute into our decision makings. The hive mind implicitly dictates you. It gives you an invisible sense of direction as to what to do and what not to do on a daily basis. Now, this helps set certain generic rules which don't have to be said, but they are followed anyway. Now, my previous question, has anybody thought about that? Monday morning blues. Why couldn't it be Tuesday morning blues? Do you believe that today is a Sunday because of the substantial proof that might exist? Or is it because of the massive game of Chinese whispers that is taking place on a global scale, where whispers such as, today is a Sunday, is being passed on to us from generations to generations? Have you ever thought why the alphabetical order is A, B, C, D and not C, D, B, A? Well, it all goes back to the modern Bronze Age in Egypt. But we were taught the alphabets as kids. We were given a sense of direction without any explanation. That is understandable, because we don't really expect 3-year-olds to comprehend glyphs and transcripts. But as we grew up, did we ever wonder why? We just followed this norm without any questioning. Now, the alphabetical order and the days of the week, they don't really impact us on a large scale every day. And let's not disregard the fact that if we go ahead and start questioning every single thing, then it would only lead to utter chaos and confusion. But this ends up creating such barriers, they create barriers between the breakthrough of personalities. These create mundane routines, not for just a day, but for our entire journey on this planet Earth. And this is what barricades in us and between the breakthrough of personalities, basically originality. What is originality? It is the art of thinking creatively and independently. It is when we all are different and diverse. We are over 7 billion people on this planet. 7 billion! That means we have over those many different storylines with victories, hardships, sorrows, and joys painted in our backgrounds. 7 billion. That enormous number also implies that we have over those many different perspectives and universes flying all around us. But in spite of that, do we believe that no one has the ability to think like us except for ourselves? The truth is, we don't. And that is because of the hive mind. The hive mind subtly enforces you to shed all the bizarre ideas just because they were a bit different. An average human spends over 80,000 hours working in a typical career. Now, would you spend those many hours doing something you love or something which the society believes to be correct? Now, we are often stopped from doing our own thing by the phrase, "Log kya kahenge?" I mean, really, this phrase has single-handedly sucked out the courage from people to be original, to be different, to be themselves. And this was not the purpose of hive mentality in the first place. Now, cloning and copying is easy and less risky. Let's take the music industry for an example. Haven't they been indulging a tad bit more in creating remix music instead of producing fresh and original content? Have you ever noticed that the plots of many books and movies are quite similar? Why? Because this appeals to the society as a whole. But this ends up discouraging any weird yet genius ideas to ever come out and take a central stage. Now, let me ask you another question. Have you ever tried imagining a new color? Let me tell you for a fact that you lack the ability to imagine a new color. We all know that the primary colors are mixed together to make any other, like any primary color, for example, red, yellow, blue, and green are mixed together to make any new color. But we can't possibly think of a shade which lies without any trace of these colors. But what we can do is be encouraged to mix them together in different combinations to actually create new elements for the palette. Now, this describes the risky endeavor, which is originality. We need to understand that although we think that only we can think like this, not all ideas, no idea, experience, knowledge, or writing is 100% original. They're all based on factors which exist in our subconscious. Now, will this stop us from what we actually have to do? Does this give us the ability to stop actually thinking in a different format? Is this legible to actually stop us from enacting and becoming who we actually are supposed to be? Now, I'm not urging you to go ahead and rebel unreasonably against all of existence. For example, telling your mom, no one ever said the room has to be clean. You're being a prey of the hive mind when she goes ahead and tells you to clean up your room. But also, I'm not here to preach for heinous crimes just because they're different from the normal. No, that is where the hive mind steps in, to help in the smooth functioning of the world and keep us on the same track. But at the same time, what I'm asking you to do is not be threatened by the hive mentality. We need to be our own person, no matter what the universal law states. And we need to have enough courage to do that. The hive mind exists to keep us all on the same track, but its purpose ends there. It does not exist to encourage disacceptance or creativity. Now, we all need to remember the powerful saying, don't let the world telling you who you are stop you from who you're actually supposed to be. And anyways, failing while being original is a way better bait than succeeding in imitation. Thank you.